And good evening and welcome to the MPNFL Division 1 football show. Gee, what a big week it's been in footy. Teams experienced big wins over the weekend. The Bombers break their David McFarlane reserve hoodoo. Red Hill win a high-scoring affair over Edie Asp, their third win of the season. Andy Mathers is in the studio along with Harry Wynn Pope. What are you doing with my glasses, Chris Holcomb? I forgot to put them on. Cappy isn't here again, but we still have his MVT. And Dan Bett returns for another week. And have a look at you, idiots. And looking at the league medal in Division 1 as well for Dan Bett. Now, Obrien Real Estate, with over 9 locations, a major sponsor across the Mornington Peninsula. Obrien Real Estate will be able to achieve the best price for your sale or rental, backed by a myriad of experience. Hello, Tony Blackford. Welcome, Blackers.
Good, mate.
Good to see you. What are you wearing my glasses for?
We got a couple of things wrong last week, Dan, didn't we?
We did. We sure did. We couldn't tip our hats. Blackett, you look all right in those pink glasses. Would you mind?
No, that's Hulks.
How do you see?
Dan, you need your glasses.
I only need them. I only need them when I'm reading.
Mate,
yeah,
you need
particularly small print.
You need these cleaned. They're atrocious.
Clean? I've only had them for a couple of weeks. Well, they're dirty already. All my spit from when I'm talking. And we welcome our special guests, Harry Wynn Pope from the Red Hill Football Club. He's also, of course, even though he's a star ruckman, he's also the grandson of the late Prime Minister of Australia, Malcolm Fraser. And also Andy Mathers, former Coringal star, now Red Hill star. Both guys have had some injuries. As of the Red Hill Footy Club, I reckon they've had about 35 injuries, according to Lee Stafford, the footy director, but starting to get their players back and had a good win on the weekend. And they're brought to us by Growth Syndicates Australia, helping you create wealth by leveraging also existing and available funds to build a substantial financial future. Andy, last week, 94 Premier points, 24 possessions. How's the knee? It was causing you some issues, wasn't it?
Yeah, I've had bone bruising on my knee pretty much since round one, the Dramana game. So it's just a bit of a weird, awkward, shitty injury, really. Like I can't do much about it. Just sort of got to rest it, and I came back probably too early to training, and then sort of re-injured it again. So tried it out at training during the week, and it felt all right. So I thought, we'll give the game a go, and played and got through all right. So
what a wonderful win and a wonderful last quarter to be able to. Because goal kicking's been the biggest thing for Red Hill, and to kick 6 in the last quarter when the game was in the balance at three-quarter time was a wonderful effort. And the one that really impressed last week was vintage Chris Irving.
Yeah, Irvo's been instrumental this year. He's been running through the mid. He's lost about 14 kilos, I think.
Yeah, I spoke to him on Saturday. He reckons he's lost 14 kilos since our first practice match. So
really?
You can tell the difference. The COVID beers kicked in a little bit hard for him.
It's been handy because I think with all the injuries and stuff as well, he's had to step up and go into the midfield. So he was going to play forward most of the year, but he's gone midfield as well. And guys can't really stop him at the moment. He's killing it.
A week, boys, is a long time in footy. You were probably been seen as maybe a chance for relegation last week because your form hadn't been great. You come out and had a win. Rosebud are on 3 and 4. Surrender on 3 and 4.
Now
you're right back
on
in the mix
5.
to be in the finals.
Yeah.
I mean, it is incredible what a win can do.
Yeah, well, I think we've actually got Rosebud, then Sorrento, then Dramana. So we've got all the teams around us. So if we can have a good 3 weeks, it's ours to sort of, push ourselves into that top 5 spot and then hopefully further after that. But it's going to be an interesting, group of games, I think. So.
And you've been up to Division 1 obviously this year, mate. How are you finding it? Are you enjoying it?
Yeah.
And is it a bit of a jump up in terms of intensity?
Yeah, big time.
Yeah?
Big time. Every week there's a challenge, isn't it?
It's quicker and everyone's bigger, I reckon. So that's the main thing. All the skills are just more polished, and as Harry was saying out there, you just don't have as much time to stuff up, sort of thing. So
It'd be more enjoyable to play that sort of footy, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it is. You can think. You have to think less. So it's good just getting out there and running and doing your thing. But obviously there's more you feel like you're making more mistakes and stuff.
And you can't afford to have lapses anymore, Dan. So if you have a 15-minute lapse, that'll cost you a game.
Obviously, Harry, you're going confident to win every game of footy, but unlike second division where you're probably going to win against teams that don't have the talent that you guys have had over the last couple of years, you can be confident, but who knows whether you're going to win or not. That's how tight the comp is.
Yeah, and I think that's something that probably took us a couple of rounds of getting used to, is we're sort of coming into...
playing against good sides every week.
Yeah, playing against good sides every week. And, if you have that margin for error, like Andy said, is so much smaller that if you do miss, if you're taking that short 45 and you do miss it, you've only got a second to
Well, it's right down
recover
the
and
back,
react.
straight
Yeah.
over your head.
Whereas I think in Div 2, a lot of the time you sort of had maybe a little bit more time to sort of compose yourself and say, right, I've made a mistake and rebound and recover from that. Whereas now we just don't have that time, and I think getting used to that's been we've seen that over the last few weeks.
And injuries have certainly tested your depth. I mean, we've had a whole lot of players out. Found out Dean Warrior again has injured his knee. Wish him all the best. Michael Mock's not far away. Our injury update thanks to Anytime Fitness. Jonah Siverson should be right this week. I mean, he's been a huge loss, hasn't he? He's probably the best defender in the comp, Set to come back this week.
Yeah, I think just him playing centre-half back sort of frees Dan Frampton up at the back there a little bit.
Well, then he takes the second best defender.
Yeah,
forward,
exactly. And he can sort of do his own thing, bit like a sort of McGovern type, just taking those intercept marks and stopping it from getting deep. I think, it was very evident in the Bombers game with their tall forward line. And we had a lot of young guys, and it was just Dan back there, and we really could have used Jonah to help him out. So it'll be massive having him back.
Michael Bussey, of course, you played against him on the weekend in the match against Edithvale Aspendale, and in the end, Red Hill won a high-scoring affair. They were behind at three-quarter time. Game was played at Regents Park. Neither side able to hold much ascendancy as we look at our highlights. And Red Hill went into the main break with a 10-point buffer, but as I say, we're behind at three-quarter time. And they were pretty gallant in defeat against Eddie Asp. They have been certainly the last month or so. Bussey kicked 4. Steve Mannix named in the best as usual. Nick Carlin, very good down back. But 4 goals to Torrin Powell and 3 to Angus Patterson.
Yeah.
Going well, Torrin Powell. He kicked the winning point against Dramana at the start of the year. Yeah, Angus Patterson also did well, while Jake Mould was named best on ground in the 21-point victory. How much confidence, Harry, does that give the team to win a game like that, which obviously was 50-50, and at three-quarter time you were just behind in a tight one?
Yeah, a lot of confidence moving forward. I think in the last few weeks we've had a fair bit of trouble actually converting when we go forward. So we've had a few inside 50s, but actually getting...
That's the biggest score you kicked for the year. You've kicked 15 goals and you kicked 6 in the last quarter. So you've been able to run out games, which is terrific, Dan.
Yeah, it is. That's the most important thing.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
I love Jakey Mould the last 4 weeks. He's been stepped right up. I think he was quiet at the start of the year, but his last 4 weeks has been sensational. He had 27 again on the weekend. He's starting to lift up.
Yeah, I reckon he's a superstar.
Yeah,
I used to play on him, and I don't reckon anyone works harder than him. He was
Both
very
ways.
he was very hard to play on. And
he's a good overhead mark and he's a
to play
good
with.
kick, Dan.
Do you get an appreciation, Andy, of these players having played against them in second division? Of course, Coringal and Red Hill had a terrific battle in 2019, and you played in the grand final against them. About how good they are, and you don't realise how good they are till you're actually playing with them.
Yeah. I think you gain a greater respect for the players that you didn't sort of think about. Like you're thinking about Jake Mould, Danny Allsop, guys like that, but then it's like Josh Mould and other players like that. Dan McNamara in the forward line. See them doing their thing. Yeah, Harry Winpope tapping it down makes my life easier. But those sort of guys, and the way that we structure up, and how Jamie's just over absolutely everything. It's just awesome. It's very very easy team to come into.
And your body has caused you some issues too, Harry. Tell us about that. It's still not 100%, but you just keep doing what good footballers do. Just keep getting through the best you can.
Oh yeah, I've got a bit of a crook hammy. Can't really run that fast. Jamie likes to tell me that I don't run fast anyway, so it doesn't matter too much. But yeah, no, it's going okay. So we're just managing it at the moment.
Do you train much during the week?
Yeah, both training. So drive down from Melbourne for training. So
Right.
don't necessarily run that fast at training either. But
At least you're getting your hands on the ball and you're getting touches. That's the main thing.
Oh, that's great. And even on the Edithvale side of it, it's good to see Nick Carlin. I reckon he's one of the best young players in the comp, and probably had a slow start to the year, but he had 27 on the weekend, and he is starting to warm up. So good on you, Nick, and he's going really well.
Pretty good game, boys, wasn't it? I mean, a good high-scoring game. That's what we want in footy, isn't it? We want those good high-scoring games. I know you had a good win early in the year in tough conditions against Mount Eliza. Any win's a good win, but when you're playing footy like that, is it more enjoyable to play a high-scoring game?
Yeah, I think it definitely is. I like the small ground as well. Small ground, good weather. We knew it was going to be high-scoring. It was just a matter of not dropping our heads when they were sort of doing their thing. So no, it was a good fun game to play in, but there wasn't much venom in it or anything like that. Like, sort of just got to the end and we'd won and sort of move on. So we're looking forward to this week. Rosebud away. which
Massive
should be
game.
It's a
massive.
massive
Yeah.
game. Yeah, well,
Massive.
it's the consummate 8-point game, that, isn't it?
I was surprised you said you like small grounds and you pick Red Hill to go and play for, mate. That's
Yeah, I know.
the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
It's a nightmare.
It's the biggest ground on the
It is. I know,
MCG
I know.
size.
It's bloody huge.
You still
And
doing your
cold.
fitness stuff, Andy?
No, I pretty much like 2 or 3 weeks after we sort of had that conversation, I did my wrist pretty badly, and then my groin was acting up, and I sort of went. Then Jamie called, and I'm like, oh well, let's play footy and see how long I can go. So I'm 28. I've probably got 4 or 5 years of good footy left in me. Just see what I can do. Which it's been a good move.
Just sort
Apart
of,
from the fact I'm injured. But
has it made you love the game more?
yeah. It
You were
has.
falling out of love, weren't you?
Yeah, I was, and I needed a freshen up, and I think meeting all the Red Hill guys, and just doing it a different way, and that sort of things got the motivation back. It sort of forced me to, because you got to, you're going into a new club.
You got to buy in, don't
Yeah,
you? When
you
you go
have
to a
to.
new club, you got to really work hard. You got to, you got to
Yeah.
do a lot of things a lot differently.
You just got to keep rocking up and go to everything, meet everyone, talk to everyone, and
Yeah.
it's a big commitment, but I've really enjoyed it.
Do you keep an eye on what Kringle are doing?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, they're doing well. Well, better than I probably thought they were going to do, but Tom Curran's bloody awesome to watch. So
He is good.
seen him a couple of times.
Very good player.
Yeah. So no, they're doing all right.
Good. Excellent. Now, the Bombers break the hoodoo. They'd never won it, or hadn't won at Sorrento since 2009, but it changed on Saturday. After a tight first half, and they led early, they kicked 3-2 to nothing in the first 10 minutes, and then scores were level in the third quarter. It was our game of the day. It was wonderful being there. Thanks to Don Scott, Tom Lynch we interviewed, and we also had Anthony Ring, the Vice President of Sorrento, as our expert commentator throughout the day. Beautiful conditions for footy. The Bombers started to get on top, and they got some scoreboard pressure.
What about the efforts of Harnett in the middle?
He had 22 possessions, and I reckon he had more than that.
Yeah. But his 4 goals came
brilliant.
from around the 50-metre line.
Yeah.
The goal on the
There was
on the
one hard on the boundary. He
line.
was almost
Yeah.
outside the boundary when he kicked
Yeah.
it.
And did he go head-to-head with Mitch Hallahan?
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
They
And-
wouldn't
and
have
he
gone
would-
near each other.
Well,
They
but I mean, we talked about it this time last week. But
But they weren't tagged, so they
No,
weren't
no, no,
technically
no.
going head-to-head.
That's right.
Well, last week I said that that Alex was in the top 2 or 3 midfielders, and you scoffed. You go, is he really? And now
Of course
after
he
seeing
is.
him
Oh,
watching him
brilliant.
play,
Brilliant.
Yeah.
yeah.
I thought he was pretty good against YCW, but he needed the run in the wet, and he was having a crack all day and just kept
Yeah.
at it. But he was superb. Bo Muston did what he had to do, kicked 3 goals, didn't get a
Well,
lot of
that's
it.
the first
He
time
just
he's
he
gone
said to
forward.
me he just wanted to see if he could still do it.
Well, it's
Yeah.
the first time he's gone forward all year, so he's been playing off a
No,
half-back flank.
Well, he hasn't played a lot at all, Holmes.
No.
No, but
He's
what he has, he's been going the back line, and they've said, well, why don't you try forward? And he's
Yeah,
popped up
so
kick
they
three 'cause
they
he's
had a
class.
few injuries going into the game and a few unavailabilities.
Yeah.
So Bo Muston comes in. What a great person to come in and play a role.
Well,
He
Kobe-
mightn't
yeah.
play for a couple of weeks now.
Kobe Villas concussion will come back this week.
Yeah.
Melfi will come back. Our mate Corey Bucken was on the show a couple of weeks ago, hurt his ankle after
So-
going in
so
there
did
with
the-
calf soreness.
So did Dale Sutton.
Yes.
They were both on crutches after the game.
they were. So he may not play. This is the injury update thanks to Anytime Fitness. Now, Khan Heratuku kicked goals at important moments, kicked 3 in the last quarter.
So they went. What they did, Dan, didn't they? They just dropped him back to the goal square.
Yeah.
Opened it all up. Big blokes don't get any smaller, Hulks.
No, they don't. And we've been talking about the big guys from Bombers all year. So they had 75 to 25 hit-outs on Saturday
Yeah.
between
Yeah.
Pryor and Heratuku. But to Sorrento's credit, they broke even on the clearances. And they even, it's surprising enough, broke even on the inside 50s. The difference was that Frankston Bombers were 32 to 16 deep inside 50. So when they were getting the ball, they were going deep and they got the big targets.
And
So-
Drake and Ryan Marks Logan and,
How good's he going,
and
Marks
Joe
Logan?
Page going beautifully and the Harris boys, Seth and Chase. And I did say Seth was 17. In fact, he's only 16. Were really, really good for them.
Yeah.
Across half-back.
So Sam
really
Drake,
played well as well.
He was on Corp or Crowd whenever whoever
correct.
went forward.
Correct. Did the
Yeah.
job. Called back to do a lot of ruck work because they were just getting
Yeah.
belted. Miles Paholke, best game.
That was the
Yeah,
best game he's
best
had.
game that he's had all year.
32 touches and 3 goals.
Good to see because we
Hey-
want the best players playing well.
Hey
so
Dan,
good to see.
what about the injuries at Sorrento though? Like they've got some big injuries.
Well, as Luke Tapscott said to me at the end, and he did his hammy in the first quarter, and he felt he was as fit as he's been for some time. For Anytime Fitness, he's done a hammy, indefinite. We know that Lee Paholke's broken his arm in 2 spots, probably unlikely to come back. Angus Callahan's got the broken leg, which he suffered in the first round, indefinite. Jai Lloyd, broken hand. So this is one of their key defenders down, and they moved Brigden forward to give them a bit of run, to give them a bit of direction.
Kicked 3.
James Brigden did a great job. Unfortunately, Jake Steinhardt, their recruit, ACL gone. And Alex Bird, who was probably their second best player behind Miles Paholke off half-back, appendicitis. So
What
injuries
about
to key players.
You haven't mentioned Burns?
Burns is another one who's still a few weeks away too.
Yeah, so Burns has done
and Shannon Gladman a hammy.
Yeah.
But look, we say every week, and you guys are the same. Injuries at the moment. Every single side's got it.
Everyone's got
seems
injuries.
That Sereno's been absolutely fleeced with it, though.
But
Yeah,
I mean,
but
it's whether you have depth as well. So you've got to have depth. And these guys, as Lee Stafford, their footy director, has told me a couple of times, you've got under 22 reserve side mostly, and you're on top of the table. And there's your depth.
Pretty much. Like I think. There was one game where our second oldest guy in the twos was 23. Or something like that. And yeah, they're undefeated, so they're killing it. But that's an extensive injury list. When you put it out like that.
And not small injuries either.
They're big players.
Sereno have been very lucky over the last few years where their core group of senior blokes have not got injured and they've been able to get through, and they've only had injuries to their bottom 6 players.
Yes.
At the moment, they've got them to all their top.
Well,
top
that's
players.
what Tappy said to me. He said we just keep getting injuries to our key players, to our best players.
It's
Their first pick.
Psychologically, too, from that weekend, you cannot... I was sitting next to a guy from Frankston Bombers on Saturday. We weren't at the game. And he was that pumped that they'd beaten Sereno because they were the bogey side. They'd only beaten them once, let alone at Frankston, but they'd only beaten them once in 10 years or whatever it was. It was amazing.
But that was their best four-quarter performance. Jared Grant to come back, and he will obviously replace Bucken. Kobe Villas has got a return from concussion.
Yep.
So they've got plenty of depth, haven't they? I mean, that helps them.
Yeah, they have. Yeah.
They're looking pretty good. 4 in a row now, but that was a four-quarter performance.
And they've won a couple of games that were 50-50 games, Dan. So it'll put them in a good picture
they're doing well
to finish top 3.
Now, round the grounds, Bond Beach, after losing the previous week, were far too good for Pines, winning by 89 points. They got their first win of the season without Trent Dennis Lane. He'll also be unavailable this week. There's a lot of Sandringham VFL matches at the moment. As I say, they won by 89 points. Both teams had a slow start to the match, with the margin only 15 points to the Sharks. But from there on, they slammed on 13 goals to 2 for the remainder of the match. An even spread of scorers. No Trent Dennis Lane, no problems this week. 13 individual goal kickers kicking at least one for the Sharks. For the Bond Beach team, they've got so many midfielders that can do the job for them. Mitch Gent, best on ground. 2 goals and 28 touches, 78% efficiency, Blackers.
Yeah, and it's good to have Gent down there for the whole year, Hawks, isn't it?
He's been great, and I think you'll see in Dan Bet later on how well I think he's going. Going very well. But the biggest thing...
I'm not a punter, boys, and he's decided to bring that in. Remember, gamble responsibly, but go and have a good look at it.
Yeah, go and get... Yeah, I'm still happy to take your bets.
Hey,
anyway,
if this kicks off, do I get half the royalties?
Oh, of course you do.
As Randy Meisner did from his great hit, Take It to the Limit from the Eagles, even though he wrote 90% of it. And Don Henley and Glenn Froney wrote 10% of it. It was a top 5 hit. Do I get at least 50% royalties, even though you've come up with the idea?
You didn't come up with the idea. I didn't name it because it should be Hulk Bet. But anyway, are you going to take 50% of the losses?
No, I only take 50%.
Well, there's your answer.
I only take 50% of the
Hey, it was good to see Shane McDonald back playing some good footy.
It's a king at the start of the year, Hulks.
Shane McDonald's best game of the year, right? And I've been saying all year, I didn't know why he was in Cappy's team of the week because he's just been motoring along.
Well, he hasn't been playing that well.
That's the best thing about Bomb Beach, that he's just got another gear. So, but they had 157 more disposals than Pines on the weekend. You're not going to win. Yeah, that's a rating. And it's good to see Lukey Verma
Dalmo's
too.
back at Sandringham. He's a big loss for Pines.
They won't see much of him because he's playing some good footy apparently. Yeah. But Verma was good again in 30.
He was the difference between you guys.
Was he? Yeah, I reckon he was. Yeah, watching it. Yeah, because I watched it because I wasn't playing. But yeah, he smashed us. So
very good player.
And that was one that got away a bit, Andy, that day, wasn't it?
It was. It definitely. That was a bad loss.
So that was hard to watch.
Yeah, that hurt. But yeah. I don't know. If we won that one, then
so Pines just needs to get a bit more consistency between their best and their worst, rather than being like 29 points or whatever they kicked on the
young
weekend.
guys are always going to give you effort, but they're also going to have games where they're going to struggle. Yeah, their effort's always going to be there.
That's right. So that's why they need to get just that bit of consistency in their game.
Their injury list for Anytime Fitness: Boyle concussion, still a bit TBC. Hayden leg, Troy Jacobson knee, Cox shoulder, Gat hamstring, and Ludwig, who hasn't played much footy since he was the hero in the 2018 Premiership victory by 1 point, also out with a hamstring at the moment. And as far as Bombeach are concerned, Tom Hogan will be back after the bye. He's got an ankle injury. Reece Hogan test. Ben Hogan available. Lots of Hogans down at Bombeach, as we know, both
Hogan's
on and off
heroes.
the field. Hogan's heroes. Peter and Michael, who run that cricket club, two of the funniest blokes I've ever had the privilege of meeting and getting to know. Kyle Hindle, hamstring available. Owen Hewlett, calf available. Good to see Liam play on the weekend. Peak and ankle, 2 to 3 weeks. Done long term. And Kakasi has a broken wrist, out for 5 weeks in this pretty even competition. Now, Frankston YCW. I think I'll use the C word, clinical. Thank you, boys, for writing that up. And their 69-point victory over Rosebud. A hot and accurate start by the Stone Cats. Now, Rosebud have dropped their last 4.
Can I say something about Rosebud?
Yeah.
Like, early on in the year, they were winning the contested ball, Dan. They've gone away from what they do best, and that's contested football.
Why do you think that's happened, Blake?
Well, I'm not
Just
too
teams
sure.
have worked them out?
Well, I don't know, but I think they need to get back and get dirty again and get their hands dirty and win that contested football, and then things will start to unfold again for them.
It's
Not
hard.
this week, though.
It's hard to maintain the intensity they had in the first 2 or 3.
No, I know, but do you know what they were doing?
Like.
But they were winning that contested ball.
But
Sean Downey came back last week, but predominantly played forward. Bentley's still out. He's their bull, isn't he?
a slightly different view to it because Rosebud have done a great job. Maddie and Steve Cummings in the ruck. They were 24 plus in the hit outs, but they also won the clearances by 11. So they had their main guys. Batsanis, Downey was in there. 2 Huswaite boys were playing on the weekend, which was good. And Keegan's gone up through the midfield as well. So they're winning enough ball through there. It's just the intensity that around the ground is so hard to maintain from what they had.
Oh, of course it is.
And they have enough forwards. If Jane Nancy-Cowan doesn't kick goals, it seems to be no one kicks goals.
Yeah.
Because we know that the Baker boys will always hit a pack, they'll always compete, but they probably don't kick
Tommy
enough
Baker's
goals,
back
do
in
they?
the twos, though.
Yeah,
I noticed
right.
that he was in the
Well,
twos.
they haven't been hitting the scoreboard. They've been competing, but haven't hit the scoreboard. Can I say, obviously, I give YC a pepper, and because Cappy's not here, this is the only time you'll hear me say this. YC, Paul Gernon's doing such a good job with YC. He's doing a fantastic job, and YC are so professional in everything they do. They're the most professional side off the ground in preparation in terms of getting their side right into the game that we've seen on the peninsula for forever.
And Hulks, that goes back another 10 years too.
100%.
And now this
20.
new generation, they've still got the guys like Byron Barry there driving it.
Yeah.
Lilac.
That's right. They're driving the bus.
They are. And look, the Blake Mullane, if you pick up the paper and read it, you go, oh, it's not there again. Mate, he's having a cracking year, and he's making a huge difference, Blake Mullane. So I think they're taking him out of the best every week because Paul doesn't want to get him tagged. But he's having a fantastic year. I'm always... Yeah, it's good to see Luke Painted back as well.
Yeah.
So he's his second game back, and there was a chance that he might have even come back at all. So he had 18
What did he
touches on
do?
the
Did
weekend.
he break his
Is that a
hips?
hip?
He's had a lot of
Yeah.
injuries.
Hip. Yeah. So
He
great
was a
to see-
player, wasn't he? That game got called off a couple
Yeah.
of years ago
Yeah.
when he suffered that bad injury.
So it's awesome to see Lukey back, and he had 18 touches in his second game back. So, listen, YC are just doing what they have to do. No mess, no fuss. Probably more is on Bombers or Bombeach has been flashy, but I'll tell you what, the Stone Cats are warming up.
We're off Bombeach at the moment, but Bombeach play Mount Eliza and YC over the next 2 weeks. So
That Bombeach YC game's going to be a belter.
belter at YC.
You played both?
Yeah, I played him. Did you
Yeah,
play
I didn't play against either of them, but watching, I thought Bombeach was probably the most impressive
that was
side
a
I've seen.
cracking day
That was
against
awesome.
Bombeach?
Yeah.
Bombeach were really slick. Like,
Yeah, but
we'd have it in our forward 50
You
for...
came at them through the third quarter that day, and then they just...
Yeah, I think they kicked
Yeah,
the
but I
first
think
Because
four.
they kicked a lot of goals
the
early
game.
and you guys hit back.
Yeah.
They kicked
but
the
I
first
thought-
4 and then we just couldn't get it back. It was,
Yeah.
Dennis Lane kicked 6 or something like that.
They just kept we'd make a mistake on the forward 50 and they'd just fly it out, and before you knew they'd kicked a goal. Whereas the Stone Cats were just so well structured behind the ball. And
Well,
you'd
they don't
hear-
allow
we'd-
teams to kick 10 goals against you. That's the issue.
Nah, well,
you
that's
can't
exactly
score.
Yeah.
But we'd get it in there, in our sort of back 50, and you could just hear they were all saying the same thing, all directional
driven.
talk
Yeah.
from behind was...
Yeah.
It
It's
was
good to see,
flat
folks,
out.
isn't it?
It is very good to see. And the old fella down there, Bizer, has just got the troops in line and
Yeah.
Bailey England named best with 20 and 7 inside 50s to his name. Now, you've got the two Cummings boys this week, Harry. You'll be rucking against him. Probably won't be able to recognise them. They are identical twins. Do you know much about them?
Their sister actually plays up at Red Hill, so
Right.
I've been trying to get a bit of a report from her. No luck, but she said they've been asking the same thing, so hopefully...
and she hasn't said much either?
Nah, not a lot of... hope not. We never know.
No, what you're going to get against those two guys is just they compete. They compete. They've been fantastic for Rosebud. Have got their next two ruckmen for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
They're really good kids and they have a crack.
Yeah,
so they'll just be competing all day long.
Played in the Stingrays' inaugural and only premiership in the old TAC Cup in
It'll be
2018.
interesting to see how Rosebud go this week.
Yeah, exactly. Look, they've got enough talent there, and it's good to see Sean Downey back. He would have needed the run to get back through, and he's the sort of spiritual leader down there at Rosebud.
Hey, Dan, in a couple of weeks, Don Scott, Tony Jewell, Bernie Quinlan are all speaking at the President's Lunch before the game for Rosebud, July 10th.
Yes, don't they do a
Gardening round?
Gardening round. You'd
So
love
Don
to be
Scott-
a fly on the
yeah.
wall on that because
That's a
Don Scott
wonderful-
drives them mad, apparently.
Yeah.
Yes.
You have to go back, mate. Manalizer Dramana, I think we got next.
Yeah, we've got to look at Manalizer and Dramana. Of course, they play at a low-scoring tussle. Both teams found. Thank you very much, Chris. Chris is running the show here with Tom and also
May
Bruce.
as well.
Thanks very much to O'Brien's Real Estate.
It is the Chris Holcomb show, isn't it?
It is the Chris Holcomb show. Don't forget it. Don't you have to forget about me. I'm a nobody. Both teams found it difficult to score with their respective defensive efforts, causing headaches and resulting in a 5-point quarter-time margin. As we look at the highlights, thanks to Frankston Jeep, and there was an opportunity here for Dramana to have a win, but outside Ethan Johnston, they just didn't kick enough goals. They found the ball in the second quarter, way too inaccurate. 2 goals, 7 heading into half-time, the Tigers. The low scoring continued, a 16-point lead 5 minutes into the last quarter. Dramana unable to close the gap against Mount Eliza, and neither side scored in the last 20 minutes. A lot of parry and thrust, but no reward on the scoreboard. Eliot Simmons was named best for the Redlegs with 23 touches, 4 rebound 50s. Sean Watson and Bailey Breen. Bailey Breen's having a great year.
He's having
kicked 2 goals each in the first half. While for Dramana, the familiar faces, and this is the issue, they need other players to step up. Sam Gertz picked up the nomination for best with 37 disposals thanks to Premier Data. Billy Gertz outstanding in the ruck, and also Billy Quigley, again, very impressive as Mount Eliza just one loss for the year and continue to be the surprise packet Hulks.
Let's go Mount Eliza first. This sums up Mount Eliza at the moment this year. They've got 6 guys in the top 10 for tackles in the comp, averaging.
Yeah.
So they've just got a side that's committed to contested ball and pressure and pressure. And we said last week, if you were coaching against them, they don't have any standouts that you go, we need to put time into him and time into him. Very even
spread.
Very even. And they're doing a magnificent job by banking these wins. They win close games, so they don't choke. They do win all the close games. So,
and they run and Hawks and their run and spread early in the season really opened up Frankston Bombers.
Yeah,
and I don't think the Frankston Bombers were really ready for that.
Nah,
I think they went there anticipating just to get over the line.
Well, I think Mount Eliza have handled it well because they've said, we've got a lot of young guys. And Steve Bradley brought all the young guys in.
Yeah, but they've had young
got
guys.
Experience there as well, though, because Gilly and Shane Tennant behind the
and
ball.
Booth.
And Booth, you won't find 3 better behind the ball than that.
But you guys beat them. That was a terrific win, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was good up
It's
at
a
Hill.
good game too. It's pretty,
You were injured for that one as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
That's not
No, it was good to
watching them all.
watch. But Hawks, just on what you were saying about the tackles, I know when they played us on the Premier Data stats, they had like only 2 players that had less than 7 team acts.
Yeah.
So like tackles or 1%ers, like they were just stacked with the 1%ers they're just flying with at the moment.
They do. They're not a high disposal team. They're just a pressure football side. It's great.
Yeah.
And that stands up. So
it
that'll
does, big
continue
time.
on. You just got to maintain that. That's all. On the flip side, let's have a look at Dramana. You're right. Their top 5 players are just terrific, and they are, and they've been putting in week out. Sam Gertz having an awesome year. Probably been overshadowed by Billy, but Sam's having a fantastic year. They still had 56 more possessions. So. Than Mount Eliza.
Did they really?
It's run and gun. That's the style.
Well, they seem to be over-possessing the ball too. Yeah. And the way the style they play, the more people that get the ball in their hands, the more likely they are to make a mistake and turn it over and go back the other way.
Yeah, well, they might just need to minimise that by one or 2 possessions and then get it in.
Is that through to their depth, though, of
course
having that bottom 6, and when they get their hands on the ball, that might be an issue? True.
That's where they've dropped away. Is their bottom sixes? You know, they haven't got that strength.
And they miss Big Holmesy too up forward because they haven't got a key
Yeah.
forward.
I think they lack height in defence and also
Yeah.
up forward.
and forward.
That's the issue.
They're having a crack, and they're
Oh,
good
no
players,
doubt.
good players, but they're just lacking a little bit at the moment.
So we'll see how they go for the rest of the year. Now, Jeff Wignall Ford, which is one of our great sponsors, serving the Peninsula community since 1979, and they've got branches in Frankston, Mornington, and also Hastings. This is the Jeff Wignall Ford Division 1 team, put together at the moment by Fuzz with Cappy still away. No, Cappy's put them together. He sent it through, the great man. So I'll read it again. Not much change across Division 1. Michael Bussey, the newest
Bussey.
face into the side, my man. Now the defenders, Matt Douglas from Bond Beach, Shane Tennant from Mount Eliza. He can play anywhere, though, really, as a key position player. Kane Hawkins from Red Hills, having an outstanding year, boys, from your team, Red Hill. Brenton Credlin on the half-back line, which is one of Chris Holcomb's favourite players. He believes he should be at half-back every single week.
Can I just say...
You can say whatever you want to say, Holks.
I'd take the mickey out of him because he shouldn't be in the most valuable team this year. But if I was picking an all-star team from the Peninsula, I'd pick him in the side every single time. But I don't reckon... I'd
playing
expect
that well.
him to get 25 touches a game instead of the 15 he's dishing out at the moment. But I love
but
BJ.
but maybe his role is to play as a defensive
Cappy'd
defender.
know because you have half the YC team in here.
He
But-
doesn't.
But I love BJ.
No, he's picked this again. Cappy's picked it.
I know.
So he's down there.
Oh, it's... Yeah.
Nick Carlin from Edithvale having a
Yeah, he's
very
having a
good
great
year.
year. Yeah, really good.
Tom Kelly, the other halfback flanker from the
Eliza.
Mount Eliza team. On the wing, Sam Gilbert, the former Saint from Bond Beach. Danny Allsop from Red Hill. Do you think his form, boys, particularly you, Harry, you played with him in 2019, is BNF form again when he won the BNF in your premiership year?
Yeah, he's playing pretty well. Kane's also playing pretty well down back. I know Danny's he's dropped the long sleeves. He spent a bit of time in the gym and stopped wearing the long sleeves. So maybe that's why he's getting.
Has he
might
got
get a
the
few more
arms like
votes.
me and Jono Ross?
Yeah,
Harry? Remember we had a
might-
bit of fun with that a couple of years ago?
Might have to get him in for a bit of a competition again. But
You're taking a mick. You're an idiot.
Yeah, I'm a very skinny man, as people know, particularly with my arms. Billy Gertz in the ruck, Sam Fox, Alex Harnett from the Bombers in the midfield, along with Nick Batsanis. That's a very, very good midfield, Cappy. Half-forward line, Shane McDonald, Guy Hendry from the Pines, and Matt LaFontaine, who's played as a small forward. He's been reinvented there for the Stonecats this year. Michael Bussey in the team in the forward pocket.
Good forward
Khan
line.
Haratuku and Ethan Johnson. That's an excellent forward
Forward
line.
line.
The bench, Billy Quickly, Dramana, Harry Pryor from the Bombers as the second ruckman, Steve Mannix from Edie Asp, and Ryan Marks Logan from the Bombers. Any omissions, Blackers, you
Miles
think?
Pahulk would be pretty stiff this week.
Yeah, he's
I
a
reckon.
little bit unlucky, isn't he?
Yeah.
That he's not there.
Don't ask me.
And I think Sam Drake's a bit unlucky too, but then again,
Well,
who do you leave out?
You know, you got to. Yeah, that's right. Tennant's been outstanding down there.
Now, Dan Bet, against my better judgment, returns for another week, and the odds have gone through. Look at Andy Mather smiling for the Div 1 BNF markets. Now, fictional odds and gamble
No,
responsibly.
they're my odds. They're not
Your
fictional.
odds.
I'm
Well,
taking
they're
them
the
on.
Chris Holcomb fictional or non-fictional odds, and even Harry's interested in it.
Yeah, get your bets on, boys.
Away you go. Hulks, tell us about it.
So
You can see it on the screen too.
I reckon the last few, Harnett has gone into favouritism at 320. Like I said before, Blake Mullane at 380. He's flying under the radar. He doesn't get in the best in the paper, but he's there every week, and they are banking games. Mitch Gent's having a belter. They're winning a lot of games, and I think he'll take the lion's share of the vote.
But the issue there is they've got
Armitage.
Verma,
Yeah, that's okay.
Gil Renouf,
Well,
even Shane McDonald. They've got so many good midfielders.
Well, don't bet on
Gilbert.
Genty then.
All right.
Just don't bet
well,
on
I'm just
Genty.
saying that he might have votes taken away from him, so he might blow out his odds.
All right, Sam Gertz is...
They've all got good players around them. I mean, you look at every side, Dan. The top six are fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, Sam Gertz is at $6 after he just racks them up every week. Batsanis got away early. He's coming back to the field, so he's 8. He would have been favourite probably 3 or 4 weeks ago. Armitage at $9. Will Gertz.
Good value.
Billy, yeah, it is good value at $9. Billy Gertz is at 10, but are they winning enough games? He's ranking high. Mitch probably hasn't banked a lot of votes early, but I reckon that there's a streak in him coming home like a train, so I'm a bit cautious on him. That's why I left him at 12s. Harry Pryor at
He's
20s.
a proven vote getter.
He certainly is. Billy Quigley racking him up at $30. Rouse from Mount Eliza at 30. I put Mouldy in there because his last 4's been really good, so you can have 30 on him. Stevie Mannix at 30. And I thought I'd put the great Josh Butland in there at 501 in case Cappy wants to have a bet on him.
Now, boys, the reason why we call him the great Josh Butland is because that's what Cappy calls him.
It's great, Josh Butland.
He kicked 7 in one game.
So
how would
markets
Mouldy feel about that, Andy, being at $30?
$30.
I reckon he's a good chance.
Did you want to bet on any of those boys?
He does pull votes.
Do you want to have some sausage on any of that?
If Danny Allsop's in there somewhere, I'd probably have a couple on him.
I'll give you 50 at Danny.
Yeah, he's
50
playing
to
pretty
1.
well. Yeah, I'd go that, I reckon.
Allsop, how much?
And he's a vote getter, Danny.
He
5?
is.
Yeah,
Same with Jake, though.
Do you want a tenner?
Jake shakes the umpire's hands first after every game.
Do you want a tenner on each of those? Or
Yeah, I'll go that.
All right, done. How about you, Harry?
You're right, Harry.
What do you like?
I reckon Billy Gertz is a bit of an outside smoky.
It's
at
10
$10.
to 1. What would you like on him, mate?
I'd probably chuck a 10 on that as
Tenner
well.
on that?
Yeah.
No problems, mate. Done.
Very good. Now, Harry, can I ask you a personal question? What was the... how old were you when your late grandfather passed away?
I was 19.
Right. What was the best piece of advice you got from the former Prime Minister?
Eat your greens.
Yeah, I think it was probably cricket related.
Was it? Because he did love his sport, didn't he?
Yeah,
Probably didn't get enough credit for that.
Yeah, loved his sport, loved his cricket, loved the Blue Baggers.
He did.
Unfortunately,
And he loved his fishing.
Yeah, loved his fishing as well. Yeah, loved his fishing. Wasn't necessarily always the best at finding the fish, but
Wasn't
that's
he?
not. Nah, he wouldn't have told you that. But loved his fishing. But
So what did he say to you about cricket, though? What was the best advice?
I think he came down. It was under 13s. I was playing down at Flinders. And he came down and just said, watch the ball, play it with a straight bat. And I think I made a duck. So.
Did he play sport himself?
I think he played a lot of cricket growing up. And then I think he grew up in the Riverina, so played a lot of cricket up there.
Yeah.
I don't think he played much footy.
Right. He would have been a ruckman or a key position player.
Yeah, he was a big fella, so
he was.
Maybe he looked pretty small. So,
He set up the Australian Institute of Sport Blankets after Australia did win a gold in the 1976 Olympics in Montreal, and that would be, in sport, probably his biggest legacy, one of the best things he ever did. And from then on, we struggled a bit in 80, but that was the half boycott Olympics, and from then on we started to improve, and that had a lot to do with
The
Malcolm
foundation
Fraser
that
and
he
the
set.
AIS.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, boys, let's get some tips, thanks to Telstra Business and Technology Centre of Melbourne South, and of course our coverage tonight thanks to Obrien Real Estate. Now, Plugger and Cappy, the only ones to tip Red Hill, and Dan, the only one to miss on the Bombers. Rosebud and Red Hill. Cappy's gone for Red Hill, as have I.
I reckon that's the hardest one to pick for the week.
Yeah, it'll be tight. Go right down to the wire.
And, if Cappy was here, just pick, Red Hill every time because you knew the boys are in and you just suck up to them. I reckon Sean Downey with a run under his belt, and I reckon they were really disappointed with the way that they went out against them last week. I think that was their most disappointing performance of the year. So I reckon they would have had a big week on the track, and I think Rosebud will bounce back and beat Red Hill this week.
It's going to be a 50-50 game, Dan. I think it'll go down to the wire.
Why do you think you guys will win?
I think we've got four key players back, and I think that Pines loss spurred us on a little bit. The guys on the track are doing bloody well, posting recovery photos and extras and all that sort of thing. So I think we're ready to get the train rolling again.
Have you played on that ground before?
No, I haven't. Apparently it's pretty big though.
It's a big ground,
it's
big stuff.
It's a massive ground.
Last time,
Not looking forward to it.
I reckon the last time we played there was actually under you Blackers, and we had the win first time in 10 years or
In a long time.
20 years or something.
You catch a win, mate. Well done. Good stuff, mate.
I coached
good.
one.
It is a good ground. It's certainly
it's
one of the
beautiful.
best grounds in the comp.
And now with the new facilities.
Yeah,
Dan,
wonderful facilities.
Great facilities.
It is
they are.
good down there.
Yeah, it's great that a lot of clubs now are getting new facilities because, you got netball and you obviously got women's football as well.
Now, you can also get if you're interested, my selections and also my preview in the GameFace record app, which you can download on your app this week. Now, Dramana taking on Edith Val Aspendale. I would have thought if the game was at Edie Asp, you pick Edie Asp, but the game's at Dramana on that ground, which is
They love that
difficult to
little
play
ground.
on, and they play it well. Cappy's gone for Dramana, so have I.
I'm going for Dramana.
I think Dramana, even though Edithvale probably were disappointed with the way they went out last week, I think Dramana's better players will get them over the line this week.
Why are you wearing those glasses again?
Just so I can read it properly.
Okay, fair enough. What do you reckon, Andy?
Yeah, I think Dramana should win that. They're probably going to be too quick.
Yeah, definitely Dramana on the home deck.
Pines and Bombers, and I would think Bombers, they've now won 4 on the trot, their best win of the season last week, just starting to find their form. All their players are gelling well together.
Do you
I think
reckon
the
it was their
Bombers
best
win
win? I
comfortably.
reckon the one against Bomb Beach or Rosebud was.
Well,
we
I'm talking 4 quarters of footy. I mean,
Yeah,
they
maybe.
played 1 quarter
Yeah.
against Rosebud and they played 2 quarters. And I know they beat Bomb Beach. It was a great win, and they kicked accurately, and Bomb Beach were expected to beat them. And Bombers were probably favourites against Sorrento, but even though I tipped Sorrento, but I just thought last
You
week
tipped Sorrento
they got a
last
lot
week.
right. Yeah,
Yeah, they got a lot right last week, and it was a more even spread for them.
Yeah, it was.
I think they've been the informed side the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So I think Bombers will clean them up.
Comfortably.
Yeah.
Andy?
Yeah, Bombers for sure.
Yeah, got to go Bombers. They're tall, strong.
Sorrento and YCW. Big game, but I just don't think
Interesting.
Sorrento have got enough forwards to stop the YCW defence.
Dan,
Cappy
Sorrento
YCW.
haven't won a game at home, I don't think, this year.
Yeah, it's normally been the fortress, hasn't it?
Yeah, they beat Dramana at Dramana. They beat Edithvale up at Edithvale, and then they beat Pines by a point at Pines. So I think they've lost all their games at home, I think.
Which hasn't happened for a long time,
No.
has it?
No.
Now they got another game. And YC over the last 2 or 3 years have always been really tight contests, but Sorrento have just had that,
A little bit more class.
and manpower to get over the line. But I think that YC will win and win well here.
Yeah, that's a hard injury list to get over. And YC are just very, very professional at the moment.
They are.
They are.
Andy?
Yeah, YC for sure.
Yeah, YC. for me.
Match of the round. Cappy's gone for Bomb Beach. This is an absolute belter. It is second against third. Mount Eliza second, travelling to Bomb Beach, who are third. And if Bomb Beach win, they'll replace them in second spot on the ladder. So plenty to play for here. And, well, could be a dress rehearsal for a final down the track.
Oh,
I
it'll
think
be
it
a
probably
final.
will be. Yeah.
Yeah, these are one of the 2 or top 4 sides. It'll be interesting to see who gets those top 3 because it's going to come down to who wins the close games. But Bomb Beach at home, for me.
I think Mount Eliza have been doing an unbelievable job this year. But I reckon they'll get their first touch-up of the season. I reckon Bonnie will hand it to them.
Even without Dennis Lane.
Yep.
He's
Even
won't-
without Dennis Lane.
He won't play again this
Well,
week
Sandringham are
on Saturday.
on Saturday again.
Yep.
Really?
So that'll be the 4th time.
We're going to Bonnie Doon. That's what we're going. And
Well-
make sure you get a Bonnie burger when you're down there because they are the best burgers on the peninsula.
Well, I think, what's in those burgers, by the way?
Oh, anything
Bit
you
of
want,
beetroot,
man. Anything
pineapple,
you want.
egg,
Whatever
egg,
you want.
lettuce.
And it's not drippy. It doesn't drip.
Doesn't
Oh,
drip.
Dad,
Well, I need something that doesn't drip.
Yeah, you'll be
you
fine.
got to know that. Yeah. Now, look, I think Bomb Beach will win, but I think it'll be a ripper. Mount Eliza's pressure will
they've been
certainly
great.
be interesting. They've
Yeah.
been fantastic.
They have been.
They've got a younger
They-
midfield.
What Mount Eliza will do, they won't allow Bomb Beach to just hold back. They'll push
Tackling
up, push
machines.
up, push up. Yeah.
They will pressure the guts out of him.
If Tennant plays forward, McLean on him.
Ah. I think
Depends where he plays.
he'll have his hands full in the back line, I reckon.
You think he will?
Yeah. What do you boys reckon?
Is Lewis Pearce playing?
He hasn't played for the last couple.
No,
so I'm
he
not
didn't play
sure.
last week.
No, so I
And Hogan? Hogan's out as well, isn't he?
Hogan's
For
out
League?
until after the bye.
Yeah, so I can max. I can
Hogan's
max
to
out.
any time fitness.
And
Yeah.
Hogan's out. And Hogan's out.
Yeah, 3 Hogans are out. Correct.
Yeah, I reckon Morney will get on top in the ruck then, and he's the Mount Eliza's second ruck, and I reckon the Mount Eliza mids might just be able to get them over the line.
Well, Mount
I
Eliza's
like it.
injuries: Doyle dislocated ankle 10 weeks, Crowder hamstring 3 weeks, D'Alberto ACL knee for the season, and Adam Hammy test, Thea calf, and delays in knee. So a few injuries there, but we know how much depth they got. Their reserves go well, their under-19s go well. Andy, so what do you?
Yeah, I reckon Mount Eliza will win that one.
Hey, 2 Mount Eliza.
Yeah.
Yeah, without Dennis Lane, I just think,
They're
Mount
getting
Eliza's
a lot of
ferocity,
support.
I reckon they'll get it done.
Mount Eliza. They're
Well,
just getting
if
a lot of support.
Bomb Beach had to lose without Dennis Lane to a top 5 side again. The
That'll be the
questions will have
third
to be
time.
asked. Correct.
That'll be the 3rd
But
time.
I still reckon they're doing a lot right.
Oh, they're doing a terrific job.
It's going to be a fantastic game. We look forward to that. Thank you, boys.
Well done.
Now,
Well
of
done,
course,
boys.
our fitness injury update is always brought to you by Anytime Fitness. And Anytime Fitness has gyms all throughout the peninsula, has everything you need to complete your rehab and get back on the park. And we thank all our sponsors, of course, our major sponsor, Obrien Real Estate, and our guests in the First Division, Andy Mathers and also Harry Wynn Pope from Growth Syndicates Australia, the sponsors of our guests. Thank you, Black. It's great to see you. Thank you, Hulks. It's been a wonderful show, and we look forward. You can put my glasses on again. They do look good on you, by the way. We're looking forward to a wonderful weekend of footy, and our match of the day, thanks to O'Brien's Real Estate,
terrible.
will be Crib Point and also
see it from-
Tyre. Get your game face on.
a bit on it.